Working in airport security is unlike any other job. Every day is unpredictable, and you never know what bizarre items might turn up. Some passengers try to take all kinds of strange things onto the plane. Today, we're taking you through the craziest things found by airport security. Number 15. Spanish police discover 2 migrants hidden inside mattresses. This story is a heart-wrenching reminder of the lengths people will go to for a chance at survival. If you're here for lighthearted, quirky videos, this one might be too serious, but it's important. 2 young men were discovered by Spanish border police hidden inside mattresses as they tried to cross into Spain. Human traffickers had stitched them inside the mattresses, subjecting them to a nightmarish journey. These men, like many others fleeing war, poverty, and disaster, are often forced into desperate, dangerous situations with no better options. Imagine being trapped in a mattress for days, barely able to breathe, not knowing if you'd make it out alive. It's a harrowing story that reminds us of the humanity behind the headlines, people risking everything, simply for the chance to live. Number 14. Gun hidden in DVD player at JFK International Airport. You've got to question the thought process here. Anyone who's traveled through an airport knows the one thing those security scanners are trained to detect is the shape of a gun. Yet somehow, this person thought it was a good idea to wrap a 9mm handgun in aluminum foil and hide it inside a DVD player. Unsurprisingly, the weapon was flagged by the scanner at New York's JFK Airport as the man was preparing to board a flight to Mexico. In the U.S., it's illegal to carry firearms onto a plane in your carry-on luggage, but under strict conditions, you can transport them in checked luggage. Clearly, this guy wasn't following the rules. He was arrested, charged with weapons violations, and hit with a hefty fine. Back in 2019, the TSA seized over 4,400 guns at airport checkpoints, most of which were loaded, and many even had a bullet in the chamber. That's not just reckless, it's downright terrifying. Number 13. Dead birds found in passengers' luggage at Dulles Airport. Sometimes, you really have to wonder what people are thinking. Sure, we all have items we like to travel with, maybe a lucky charm or a favorite book, but dead birds? That's in a whole different league. There are strict rules about what you can and can't bring into the United States, from obvious things like weapons to less obvious items like fruits and vegetables. These rules are in place to prevent the introduction of invasive pests, and even livestock is restricted. But dead birds? That's next level. When a passenger arriving from Beijing at Washington, D.C.'s Dulles Airport was stopped at customs, officials discovered packages that initially seemed to contain cat food. But inside was something much weirder, a bag full of small, dead birds. Needless to say, the package was immediately confiscated and incinerated. Why anyone would bring a bunch of dead birds into the country remains a mystery, but it's definitely not something you want to explain to an airport security officer. Number 12. Man caught with pound of cocaine under his toupee. A man's unusually tall hairdo raised suspicions at Barcelona Airport, where police quickly realized something was off. The man, arriving from Bogotá, Colombia, had a disproportionately large wig concealing a pound of cocaine taped to his head. The nervous traveler was found with 1.1 pounds of cocaine, valued at around $34,000, wrapped up under his not-so-convincing toupee. He was swiftly arrested by Spanish police, and surely, there's no escaping the consequences of such a bold, and poorly thought-out, smuggling attempt. While smuggling methods are becoming more inventive, think breast implants and hollowed-out pineapples, this one stood out for all the wrong reasons. It's bad enough to feel self-conscious about a fake wig, but when it's also full of drugs, you're bound to get caught. Number 11. Tiger cub found in suitcase at Thai airport. What were they thinking? This is unbelievable on so many levels. At Bangkok International Airport, security staff made a shocking discovery, a 3-month-old tiger cub hidden inside a suitcase. A woman was attempting to smuggle the tiger from Thailand to Iran, having drugged the poor animal and packed it alongside a stuffed toy tiger. The bag was flagged as overweight and sent for an X-ray before being loaded onto the plane. Thankfully, this quick check revealed a live animal concealed inside, prompting authorities to call in wildlife protection officials immediately. The woman claimed she didn't know what was in the suitcase and said someone else had asked her to carry it for them, a common excuse in these situations. She was promptly arrested and charged with wildlife smuggling, which in Thailand carries a significant fine and up to 4 years in prison. Iran has a booming illegal trade in exotic pets, and the tiger cub was likely headed for this grim fate. Given the animal's poor condition, it's unlikely it would have survived the journey, making the discovery a lucky break for the little cub. Just imagine being drugged and stuffed in a suitcase for a 5-hour flight. How long would you last? Number 10. Man busted for smuggling 94 iPhones strapped to his body. In a scene straight out of a comedy sketch, a man was stopped at Hong Kong airport with 94 iPhones strapped to his body. Apparently, strapping that many phones to yourself makes it hard to walk normally, which is how he first caught the attention of customs officials. He was attempting to smuggle the newly launched iPhones from Hong Kong to mainland China in 2015, where the product's release had been delayed. At the time, smuggling iPhones for resale was a booming, though illegal, business. This smuggling attempt, however, was laughably clumsy. The man had phones taped to nearly every part of his body, all hidden under a large red sweater and baggy pants. But the worst part? He tried to walk through a metal detector. Unsurprisingly, the alarms went off immediately, revealing his stash of phones in seconds. You have to wonder, if he had made it onto the plane, did he remember to turn all 94 iPhones off? Number 9. 200 live tarantulas found in suitcase. In what sounds like the opening of a wild action movie, a German couple's luggage was found to contain 200 live tarantulas, sparking a flurry of questions. Their suitcase, flagged during routine scanning at an Amsterdam airport as they traveled from Peru to Germany, revealed a scene straight out of a nightmare. Upon closer inspection, security officials found not only tarantulas but a variety of other creepy crawlies like millipedes, beetles, and grasshoppers. As if the discovery wasn't unsettling enough, some of the insects began to escape, causing chaos. Imagine grasshoppers leaping through the airport, spiders crawling out, and beetles hitching rides in backpacks. It's the stuff that would send an arachnophobe into a full-blown panic. Once all the bugs were wrangled and recaptured, they were swiftly confiscated, much to the relief of everyone in the airport. Let's just hope they managed to catch every last one, probably, right? Number 8. Ivory Coast boy smuggled to Spain inside a suitcase. In 2015, shocking images of a young boy being smuggled into Spain inside a suitcase captivated the world. This desperate attempt at human trafficking was a far cry from the usual tales of smuggled contraband. The incident occurred in Ceuta, a Spanish enclave at the tip of Morocco, a hotspot for migrants and asylum seekers trying to enter Europe. Spain's Guardia Civil stopped a young woman at the customs checkpoint, noticing her nervous demeanor. Upon scanning her luggage, officers were horrified to discover what appeared to be a human figure inside. Opening the suitcase, they found an 8-year-old boy in a dire state. The woman confessed she had been paid by the boy's father to smuggle him into the country. This heart-wrenching case highlights the extreme lengths some families go to in pursuit of a better life, often facing harsh and inhumane immigration laws. While few would ever consider risking their child's life in such a way, it's a stark reminder of the desperation many face in their search for safety and opportunity. Before we continue, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Number 7. Man arrested at airport for having a human skull in his luggage. Looks like someone needs to double-check their packing list. It turns out that traveling with human bones in your luggage is a big no-no. When a German professor passed through an airport in Rome, he was shocked to be stopped by customs officials for carrying a human skull in his suitcase. When questioned, the professor claimed he had no idea it was illegal to transport human remains across borders. He explained that he had purchased the skull from a market stall for €50 and thought it would make for an interesting souvenir. The skull, lacking its lower jaw but otherwise polished, was enough to get him arrested for illegally possessing human remains. Italian authorities sent the skull to their scientific department to analyze the DNA and trace its origins. Next time, he might want to rethink his travel souvenirs. Number 6. $1.2 million in gold bars found stashed in a Boeing 737's bathroom. This next story leans into the bizarre, because how do you accidentally misplace a stash of gold bars? During a routine end-of-day check, 2 bags filled with 24 gold bars were found in the bathroom of a Boeing 737. The plane had just returned to Kolkata after flying from Mumbai to Bangkok earlier that day. The total value of the gold? A staggering $1.2 million. But here's the mind-boggling part. How does someone simply forget or leave behind 53 pounds of solid gold in a cramped airplane bathroom? There's hardly enough space to turn around in there, let alone stash bags of gold. Did someone really get off the plane, go home, and just realize, oops, I forgot my $1 million treasure? The discovery raised more questions than answers, but it was certainly an expensive surprise for the airline staff. Number 5. Woman charged with smuggling fish in skirt. This has got to be one of the most bizarre smuggling attempts ever. A woman arriving in Melbourne from Singapore was stopped by customs officials after they heard an unusual flipping noise coming from her waist. Yes, you read that right, a flipping noise. Upon further investigation, officers discovered the woman was wearing a specially designed apron hidden under her skirt. Inside, she had concealed dozens of plastic bags filled with live fish, each one staring out from their sad little temporary homes. Smuggling wildlife into Australia is no joke. It's a country with some of the strictest customs regulations in the world. If found guilty, the woman could face a hefty fine and significant prison time. Authorities were still determining the exact species of fish before deciding on the charges, but her attempt at sneaking them in was already swimming in trouble. Number 4. Baby monkeys and lemurs found inside suitcase. Once again, animal smuggling rears its ugly head. It's baffling that some people think stuffing baby animals into a suitcase and tossing them around like luggage is a good idea. Would they want to be packed into a case and thrown around by baggage handlers? Probably not. This time, a man flew from Vietnam to Russia with a suitcase full of baby monkeys and lemurs. It wasn't until he reached Russian customs that officers noticed strange noises coming from his luggage. Inside, they found 5 baby monkeys and 5 baby lemurs crammed into wicker boxes. These poor animals had been without proper food or water for the entire journey. The man was arrested and charged with animal cruelty and smuggling, while the animals were thankfully taken to the Moscow Zoo to recover. You really have to wonder what goes through these people's minds. Enough with the monkeying around. Number 3. Screeners find 6 smoke grenades in airline passenger's bag. A man flying to the Dominican Republic had his plans interrupted at Newark International Airport when security spotted something highly suspicious in his carry-on luggage: 6 smoke grenades. It should go without saying that smoke grenades and airplanes don't mix, yet this guy thought it was a good idea to pack military-grade smoke bombs for his trip. Although it's legal to purchase and carry smoke grenades in New Jersey, it's definitely not okay to bring them on board an airplane. Just imagine the chaos if one of these things went off mid-flight. The passenger had wrapped the grenades in bubble wrap and casually stuffed them in his bag, but when the carry-on went through the X-ray, it was quickly flagged. Security confiscated the grenades, but surprisingly, the passenger was allowed to hand them off to a friend who wasn't flying and continue on his way. Number 2. Tourists caught smuggling 48 live eels through airport. This story could have easily turned into a scene straight out of Snakes on a Plane. Why on earth would anyone need to smuggle 48 live eels? Even if you're a fan of this slippery snack, that's an astonishing number. A group of passengers traveling from Madrid to China was caught with 48 live eels hidden in their checked luggage. Fortunately, the eels were kept in specially chilled suitcases, which at least spared everyone from a slimy mess. However, smuggling live eels is illegal and frowned upon. The wriggling stash was confiscated and sent to the aquarium in Madrid for identification, as some eels are protected species. The whole operation was a slippery venture that ended up far from its intended destination. Number 1. Canadian woman arrested smuggling cocaine in fake baby bump. A 28-year-old Canadian woman attempted to smuggle 2 kilos of cocaine from Bogota, Colombia to Canada using a fake pregnancy belly. Her plan was thwarted before it even took off when Colombian border officials noticed that the bump felt unusually cold and hard. Upon inspection, they discovered the hidden stash of cocaine inside the latex belly. It's crucial to remember that those caught smuggling drugs are often not the ones profiting from the illegal trade. These mules are typically vulnerable individuals coerced or exploited by more powerful criminal organizations. While it's easy to judge someone caught in such a situation, it's important to consider the desperation or manipulation that might drive them to such actions. This young woman is likely facing a severe prison sentence in Colombia, a harsh reality that reflects the broader, grim world of drug trafficking. So there you have it, some of the wildest things people have tried to sneak past airport security. What insane items have you heard about slipping past those eagle-eyed airport cops? Share your stories in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe for more amazing content. Hit the notification bell and check out the other videos on the screen. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.